Jai Hind, my dear students. Today we are going to learn about the societal impacts of IIT. Okay, so today information technology is in use in every field of work. Its advantages are tremendous and it plays an important role in delivering information about the world. The growth of the IT sector has led to the gradual transformation of society into a global village. Okay, so like any other technology, IT too has affected our lives both in positive and negative ways. While on the other hand, it has led to increased productivity, efficiency, employment opportunities, and convenience of all sorts, and other on the other hand, it has given rise to sedentary lifestyles, often bordering on sheer laziness. Okay, so while being a major source of information, the internet is also a major source of crime, as it has bred many unethical practices like cracking, piracy, spamming, plagiarism, etc. So let us study about some of these issues that the IT revolution has brought to the force in the modern times. Intellectual property right. So the term intellectual property rights broadly refers to all the creation of the human mind. The intellectual property rights protects the interest of the creator under the said creation of the human mind by giving them property rights over the creation. Some of the subjects matter protected by intellectual property rights are like work of literacy, artistic and scientific nature, performances of performing artists, phonograms and broadcast, inventions in all fields of human endeavor, scientific discoveries, industrial designs. Okay, so the owner has exclusive rights over the use of his or her creation for a certain period of time, like 20 years. The owner is also given the right to exchange or distribute his product, okay, or services, and also to decide the price of the sale of these. So to protect one's intellectual right property, one cannot get his idea, invention or creation copyright, patented or use trademarks. Okay, so copyrights apply to the originality of the expressions of an idea rather than the novelty of the idea itself. It prevents others from duplicating the works of an individual or an organization without their permission. Okay, so second is patent. So patent provides the creator the right to exclude others from making or using an invention. From the data, the patent application is filled for a period of 20 years. To be patentable, the invention must be novel and non-obvious. Okay. Third is trademark. So trademarks are logos or words that identify an object, source, quality or services with which they are associated. So common law trademark rights exist from the date of the first use of goods or service. Next is plagiarism. So with the exponential growth of the internet, information is available on any topic and that too very easily. This has increased the chance of people copying information from others' work and reusing it. So these are the people who do not want to spend time thinking, researching and writing on their own, but they have no columns about helping themselves to a piece or pieces of somebody's else work, which they then pass off or try to pass off as their own. This is known as plagiarism. Okay, so plagiarism is the unauthorized use or close imitation of the language and thoughts of another author and the representation of these on as one's own original work. Okay, so as plagiarism involves using someone else's work without giving them due credit, it is a form of cheating or stealing a person's ideas or writing. Okay, this is also known as literally theft. So plagiarism can be found in many different forms like online plagiarism, academic and journalist plagiarisms and self plagiarisms. Okay, so academic um, academic academic and journalist plagiarisms, like in this field of academics and journalism, plagiarism is becoming very common. Some students and research scholars sometimes submit a copied or slightly modified piece of writing or research paper as their own work. Some journalists also copy the ideas of work of some other people and publish these as their own. Okay, so second is self plagiarism. In this, when a writer uses the same piece of work in more than one publication, which is also referred as dual or redundant publication. In the educational context, self plagiarism may refer to the case of a student who resubmits the same essay for credit in two different courses. It is the reuse of significant, identical, or nearly identical portions of one's own work without acknowledging that one is doing so, or without citing the original work. Okay, and third is online plagiarism. So, internet is the largest digital library in the world. Thousands of articles, research papers, ebooks, and tutorials are available as electronic text. The development of IT has made access to the internet possible for one and for all. This in turn has made copying the work of others from the internet as a common habit for some. So this is a online plagiarism. Okay, so online plagiarism means scrapping, copying and pasting material from the internet websites for one personal use. Okay, so how you will check online plagiarisms? There are some websites. Okay, so you can also report plagiarism on the following sites like www.plagiarismchecker.com, www.dustbell.com and www.articlechecker.com. Okay, so here you can compare and recheck whether the document is copyrighted or not. Okay, next is privacy. So advances in technology, including the internet, have dramatically changed the way we collect and use personal information. Personal information can be transferred globally more rapidly now than ever before. This has influenced the way we think about privacy and protection of personal information. The increased use of internet for our day-to-day activities is bringing new threats to personal privacy. Okay, so when people enter cyberscape, they generally think that because they do not enter their names or other details to gain access to web pages, it means that there is a high degree of privacy in their use of internet. In other words, that they are virtually anonymous users of the internet. However, do not realize that every post they make to a news group, every piece of email they send, every www page they access, and every time they purchase online could be monitored or logged by some unseen third party. So there are many internet tools that collect information, including browsers, crawlers and spiders, search engines, bots and indexes. Okay, so we should know that such companies and individuals can infringe upon our privacy. Okay, so integrity of information security. So what information security means? Protecting the data, okay, information or information system from unauthorized access. So use, disclosure, disruptions, modification or destruction. So information integrity or data integrity refers to the verification that data is correct, accurate and consistent. Okay, so security and integrity of information means the information and other resources are only for users who have the right or access to these, so that the accuracy and consistency of the data and information is guaranteed. Government, military, corporation, financial institution, hospitals and private business store a great deal of confidential information about their employees, customers, product, research and financial status. So most of this information is now collected, processed and stored on electronic computers and transmitted across networks to other computers. So the security and integrity of information is a major concern these days. Okay, so techniques to secure data. So there are various techniques to secure data. As user, we need to understand these in detail so that we are able to keep our data secure and safe from miscreants. Okay, so first is cryptographic technique. So cryptographic technique is a process of converting plain text information into unintelligible gibberish data. Cryptography can be used to guard or protect data against the possibility of its modification while it is being transferred between computer system in a network. Second is firewall. So firewall is a system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. Firewall can be implemented in both hardware and software or a combination of both. Okay, so firewalls are frequently used to prevent unauthorized internet users from accessing private network connected to the internet, especially intranets. So all messages entering or leaving the internet pass through the firewall, which examines each message and blocks those that do not meet the specified security criteria. Firewall can provide some protection from online interfaces. So Windows 7 has a built-in firewall that turns on by default whenever you start your system. Okay, like Windows 11, Windows 10, same allows you to turn the firewall on or off through the control panel. Okay, third is access authorization. So access authorization means restrict access to a computer by a select group of people. This is done through the use of authentication techniques like login IDs, passwords. If a person is found misusing so his or her authority, then this privileged access is withdrawn or the person account is deleted. So fourth is antivirus software. So virus can be very dangerous threat to your data. Antivirus softwares are software that can detect and delete virus programs from a computer. This is done in such a way that the information in the computer does not get corrupted or deleted. So in examples of softwares like McAfee, AVG, Kaspersky, Norton, Grifsoft, North32, these are the antivirus. Fifth is backup. Okay, so backup are a second copy of all important computer files kept at another location. Okay, they are a useful way of keeping information secure. Backup files can be kept on hard disk, CD-ROMs, CD drive, or external hard disk drives. Okay, so backup are also important for reason other than security, like a fire could break out, an earthquake may strike the building where the computers are located. In such cases, recent backups of the data at an alternate secure location can be a means of securing our information. Sixth is next is software piracy. Okay, so computer programs are protected under the copyright laws of some countries as well as under the WPO Copyright Treaty of 1996. Okay, a computer program is produced by one or more individual or a company that hold its copyright. So anyone who want to use the program has to purchase a licensed copy from the owner. So there are, however, many people who make illegal copies of software and sell them without the permission of the software company or individual. So this is known as software piracy. Okay, so software piracy is one of the most commonly occurring crimes today. Okay, its consequences are disastrous both in terms of huge monetary loss to software companies as well as the number of people impacted of by these losses. Okay, so it is illegal because software companies or programmer invest weeks and months of work, significant fund in the development of software. If people use pirated software companies are unable to get a return on their investment from license fees and sales. Okay, so software is an intellectual product and companies that develop the software have intellectual property rights over them. So their use by unauthorized people is illegal. Okay, so piracy prevention. So software is identified as intellectual property as it is developed or created by programmers through the application of logic or an algorithm for solving particular problems. Therefore, software piracy is also covered under intellectual property rights. Laws are being made to prevent software piracy. The primary legal means to prevent software piracy is the intellectual property right. Okay, so let's study the careers in IT. So career opportunity in IT sector are bright and growing in India as well as abroad. So it is a diverse industry in which companies are looking for multi-skilled, tech-savvy workforce. So IT specialists are in every industry, from IT companies to manufacturing, healthcare, media company, transport, and tourism. So all area needs software applications. So IT has opened up the floodgates to career opportunity for young graduates of computer science and IT. The professionals in these fields are in great demand in the global market today. So you can see um, the fields that you can opt, like database management profession, network profession, knowledge management specialist, computer games developer, data entry operators, software engineers, online editor, graphic designers, and so on. Okay, now let's study about malware. So the word malware is short for malicious software. Okay, so it is general term used to describe all of the virus, worms, spyware, and anything that is designed to harm your computer or to steal your data. Okay, so let's study. So first, virus. So what is virus? A computer virus is a program or code that gets copied or attached to the other files in a computer without the knowledge of the user, and as a result malfunction the computer in one or the other way. Okay, so once a virus invades a system, it copies itself and spread from one file to another, and then from one computer or network to another. When the files are being copied or shared, the virus modify files and even the operating system itself. Viruses can be very destructive and causing loss of information. Okay, so there are several characteristics of virus, like first is it is able to replicate, it requires a host program as a carrier, it is activated by external action, its replication ability is limited to the virtual system. Okay, so how do computer virus spread? So we have learned that computer virus is a piece of self-replicating code attached to some other piece of code. So computer virus move from computer to computer by attaching themselves to files or boot records or disk and diskettes. Okay, so these days it is common to find virus in email attachment and other programs that can be downloaded from the internet. Sometimes the virus code may be harmless. For example, it may display a message or play a tune, but sometimes it may be very harmful and may proceed on to delete and modify files. So virus code searches user files for an uninfected executable program for which the user has security right privilege. So virus infects a file by putting a piece of code in the selected program file. So when a program that is infected with a virus is executed, the virus immediately takes command finding and infecting the other programs and file. So a virus is relatively passive agent that relies on ordinary users for its activation and propagation. It can travel from one file to another on the same computer if the infected file is executed. From the computer memory to a file or a disk that is carried from one computer to another, or email attached executable files and over a network or the internet. So let's study about worms. So a worm is a program that is very similar to a virus. Okay, so it has the ability to self-replicate, can lead to negative effects on your system, and can be detected and eliminated by antivirus. Example of worms are PSW Bugbear, Lobegate, Trial C, like this. Okay, so worms run independently and travel from computer to computer across network connection. Worms may have portions of themselves running on many different computers. Worms do not change other programs, although they may carry other code that do. Okay, so characteristics of worms are like it is able to replicate. If it is a network worm, it can replicate across communication links. It is self-contained and does not require a host. It is activated by creating process. Okay, and so how worm spread affect networks? So most worms disrupt Most worms disrupt service and create system management problems. Okay, some worms scan for password and other loopholes and then send the information back to the attackers. So in some cases worms can install trojan horse or virus that cause damage to the system. Okay. Okay, next is trojan horse. So trojans or trojan horse are also a type of malicious code. Unlikely virus, Trojan do not reproduce by infecting other file. They are simply programs that pretend to be something else. The major difference between a virus and a Trojan is that Trojan do not replicate themselves. They have to be installed by an unwitting user. Okay, so a Trojan may look like a perfectly legitimate email that may even appear to be more a friend from a friend or a colleague or a photograph or sound file, even a game. So when the user tries to open the file, it gets activated. Physical media, road apple, an executable file and double extensions like readme.txt.ext. Okay. So main purpose of Trojan is that to make its host system open to access, usually via the internet. A Trojan may allow an unwanted person to see the files and data on the infected system. It may grant free access to the intruder, who may then be able to freely explore, view, modify, and delete data from the hard drive. They may be able to intercept incoming and outgoing data, including emails, keystroke, passwords, sensitive information, and so on. So, how Trojan horse spread? So, Trojan horse generally spread through email and through the exchange of disk and information between computer. Worms could also spread Trojan horse. In many cases, Trojan will be create a backdoor that allow your PC to be remotely controlled, either directly or as a part of bootnet. Okay. So once your PC has been infected with the Trojan, it can be used for any number of nefarious purpose like denial of service, attacks against a website, proxy server for concealing attacks, or even worse for sending out buckets of spam. Okay, so you have to protect the computer. Okay, so for this you will install an antivirus software. So antivirus software is a computer program that detects, prevents and takes action to disarm or remove malicious software program such as virus and worms. You can protect your computer against viruses by using antivirus softwares like Norton antivirus, Kaspersky antivirus. Okay, so it works in 3 steps. It scans files, okay, and on your computer's memory for certain patterns that may indicate an infection. The patterns it looks for are based on the signatures or definition of known virus. Okay, it identifies suspicious behavior from any other computer program that might indicate infection. It deletes or quarantines the identified threats. Okay, so you need to install an antivirus. Okay, so next is spyware. So spyware is a technology that aids in gathering information about a person or organization without their knowledge. Spyware is a part of overall public concern about privacy on the internet. Okay, so on the internet, where it is often called spybot or tracking software, a spyware secretly gathers information about users and passes it on to the parties that would be interested in this information, such as advertisers. Okay, so next is spamming. So spam refers to the unsolicited emails, okay, the ones that are sent without being asked for. So the process of sending spam is called spamming. Most spam is commercial advertising, often for dubious product, get rich quick schemes, or quasi legal surveys. Spam costs the sender very little to send. Most of the costs are paid for by the recipient or by the carriers rather than by the sender. Okay, so email spam, known as unsolicited bulk email, junk mail, or unsolicited commercial email, is a practice of sending unwanted email messages frequently with the commercial content or in large quantity to the indiscriminated set of recipients. Okay. Next is data backup and recovery methods. Okay, so one of the most fundamental elements of any disaster recovery plan is data backup and recovery. Okay, so data backup is a process of making a duplicate copy of the original data. It is an activity of copying file or database so that the data will be preserved in case of any accidental or malintentional deletion of data. Okay, so data backup is said to be the best prevention for data loss, as data is required for efficiency. Keeping its backup is one of the most powerful way to protect yourself against data loss. Okay, so types of data. Okay, so first is let's study need for backup. So data loss occur for various reasons such as virus, application problem, human error. Okay, so you should keep in mind backup frequently. Okay, and select the storage medium. Okay, now studies let's studies about types of backup. So first is full backup, second is differential backup, third is incremental backup, and fourth is mirror backup, fifth is daily backup, and sixth is normal backup. Full backup, it contains all the data in the folders and files that are selected to be backed up and is the starting point for all backups, because full backup stores all files and folders. Frequent full backups result in faster and simpler restore operations. Okay, so second is differential backup. So this means taking backup of all the files that have changed since the last full backup. Okay, it shortens the restore time compared to a full backup or an incremental backup. If one performed the different backup too many times, the size of the differential backup might grow to be larger than the baseline full backup. Okay, and third is incremental backup. So this store all files that have changed since the last full differential or incremental backup. It takes the least time to complete. During restorage, each incremental backup must be processed, which could result in a lengthy restore job. Fourth is mirror backup. It is identical to a full backup, with the exception that the files are not compressed in zip files and they cannot be protected with a password. It is most frequent used to create an exact copy of the backup data. The backup files can also be readily accessed using tools like Windows Explorer. Okay, so fifth is daily backup. So this copies all files that you select that have been modified on the day the daily backup is performed. Okay, sixth one is normal backup. It copies all the files you select and marks each file as having been backed up. With normal backup, you only need the most recent copy of the backup file to restore all the file. So you can also take the online data backup. Okay, instead of storing the backup file on the storage device like external hard disk, CDs, DVD, pen drives, etc. So you can also store in online, take online backup. Okay, so online backup is a method of off-site data storage in which files, folder, or the entire content of hard drive are regularly backed up on remote server. The idea behind online backup is simple, but if you're frequently backing up data on remote hard drive, the risk of complete loss of data due to fire, theft, file corruption, or other disaster is practically eliminated. Data remains secure as the online backup service provide use encryption and password protection to ensure privacy and security of data. So a number of companies provide online backup services for subscribers whose computers are connected to the internet, automatically copying selected files to backup storage at the service provider's location. Okay. So next is hackers and crackers. So the process of breaking into computer network and collecting the personal details of others. If it is done for ethical reason, then it is called hacking, and if it is done with malintent, then it is called cracking. Okay. So people who are responsible are for hacking are termed as hackers. Okay, so hackers are often experts in computer programming who are interested in gaining knowledge about computer systems. They often do this as a hobby, as a challenge for merely to use their knowledge. Ethical hacking is often recommended by the industry. Okay, next is cracker or criminal hackers. So criminal hackers or crackers are hacking against individual or organization. Hacking by criminal hackers is looked upon as a crime. There are mainly two types of crime hacking: criminal hacking like password hacking, or cyber criminal hacking or cracking. Okay, so password hackers use different methodologies to find the details of other users, especially their mail passwords with malintent. Okay, and crackers use various methods to hack into the system of others. Like crackers also use the skills in social networking sites like www.facebook.com, crash the accounts of others. They also unblock block sites and include malware and spyware in it. Okay, thank you for listening. Jai Hind, my dear students.